Hey guys, Survivor Relic here with video number 1. As my name implies, I hope to in future videos to get into survivalism, especially the equipment side of it. How the common man can put together his own equipment, not for just the end of the world scenarios, but, for basic camp life. How to turn a bad situation into a good one simply by having the right equipment and knowing how to use it. But today we're going to go on to another subject, a favorite subject of mine, which happens to be knives. We're going to be talking about two different types of knives in particular. I'm not talking about fixed bladed versus folder. That's a whole other issue. What I'm talking about is a tactical knife versus a utility knife. Okay? First off, let's define the difference. A tactical knife is a self-defense weapon. Okay? That's its sole and only purpose. Okay? You may say, why do you have two knives? Why do you see the need to carry two knives? Well, my self-defense weapon has to be ready at a moment's notice. I have to know it's not going to fail me. Okay? And as such, I want it to be razor sharp and ready for action. Okay? A utility knife is the knife that you're going to use every day to cut whatever needs to be cut. And if you're like me, even on a light day, you're going to pull that knife out 2 or 3 times and use it to cut something. Open mail, open packages, cut a string, Nowadays, the packaging they put most stuff in is almost bulletproof. It's very easy to dull a knife cutting that. And it doesn't matter how many sharpeners you have. You may have 10 sharpeners at home, and you got your Japanese stones and your diamond stones, and you've got a pocket one and maybe even one on your key ring. That utility knife is going to get dull. You're going to have to sharpen it, okay? I can't afford to have that tactical knife, dull. So my tactical knife never cuts anything. The day I purchase it, I test the blade. I make sure it's sharp enough. I do the old paper test, and if it passes that, it's good to go. If not, then either I sharpen it or I'll send it off to be sharpened, because to me that is a major life-saving device, and it's got to be, both durable, high quality, affordable, and ready for action, Utility knife is more or less the same thing. I want it to be durable, high quality, and affordable also. But by necessity, because you use it on a daily basis, it is going to get dull, and I don't want that to come up, and fail me when I need it most. Now, I'm going to show you the two knives I currently carry. I'm not giving reviews on them because there's already reviews out, and, that's what YouTube's best about, knowledge base, Get in there and look, decide, before you make a decision on what you want to purchase. Go on YouTube, buy Tactical Knife Magazine, Blade Magazine, whatever the case may be. Do some research, and make sure that what you buy is what you want, what you need, and fits, the criteria or whatever. I'm not a millionaire. I can't afford custom-made knives, But still, when I buy a knife, I want high quality, at affordability. Now, the tactical knife that I'm carrying right now is the Cold Steel AK-47. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Cold Steel. Very good company, makes high quality. They torture test their knives, videos out on that and everything. This knife is a fantastic knife, and I'll tell you the main reason why I think it is a great tactical knife, and that's because it has a dual purpose when it comes to being a tactical knife. In other words, besides having a blade that can cut, slash, and stab, if you'll notice, on the end here, it's got a steel pommel. Now, the older ones had a polymer one, still, effective or whatever, but definitely steel is the way to go. Now, I saw the videos on this talking about this, and I thought to myself, makes a lot of sense, and so I immediately purchased the knife, and as soon as I got it in, I tested the knife, razor sharp, just like all my Cold Steel knives have come, and I tested the pommel out. I lightly struck the wall, and guess what? Knocked a hole right through the wall, So I immediately know that this knife will be a great impact weapon. If any of you familiar with the Kubotans or whatever the techniques, you've got your pressure point controls, your impact strikes, whatever. This thing is going to be able to do your pressure point controls. You're going to be able to strike in the areas you need. Crush a skull. Get a shoulder. Break a bone or whatever. You're going to be able to stop that aggression, and that's what we're after. We're not after when somebody comes after us, when somebody threatens us. We're not after the end result of using deadly force and killing them. That's childish. That's video game. It may come to that, and if it comes to that, yes, I'm all for it. Do what you got to do to protect you and yours. But there is an escalation of force and an escalation of defense. Go by that. If somebody's threatening you, then you go one step above that, and do what you need to do to de-escalate the situation, to stop that act, whatever the case may be. That's why I like this particular knife. I can use it, as an impact weapon first. Both closed and open. And open is actually, I like the grip better. Still got a good grip or whatever, better open. And open, it also has the added benefit of being an intimidation factor, which is another way to stop the aggression. Take somebody, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, 6'6", muscles everywhere. Probably not too many people pick on him, through life. But your average guy, you take me, 5'10", 280, on the heavy side. Me walking down the street, I'm not very intimidating, so much easier target, for somebody that may be wanting to try something stupid, So having weapons to me is not only just, makes sense, but is almost a necessity, because my life is valuable. My family's life is valuable. My friend's life is valuable. And strangers, they're valuable too, I'm the first to jump in and protect somebody. When I see something getting out of hand, I'm going to step in, Maybe that's the way I was brought up, I don't know. But I'm going to do what needs to be done to help somebody that needs help. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's move on to utility knife, okay? Now, utility knife I carry right now, let's look at that one, is a little Kershaw. This is the 1620. It's the assisted opening, which I love. As you see, look at that there. It's an Ken Onion design, also razor sharp. But since I use it every day, it does get dull and has to be resharpened or whatever. That's just the way it is, Even on a light day, using your knife, just every now and again, it is going to get dull. You are going to have to resharpen it or whatever, Thus the need for two knives, Now you may say, why is one smaller than the other? Does size matter? Does weight matter? A lot of guys argue that point. I'm not going to argue that point. I don't see that size or weight are really a big issue at all, especially weight. If the weight of a knife in your pocket is bothering you that much, then you've got other issues. My wallet, the change, maybe even my watch sometimes weighs more than the knife I carry. I'm not concerned about a little extra weight. The reason why I carry two different size knives is so that by feel alone, I know which knife I've got, In today's world, everybody is scared to death of, crazed psychos and terrorists and everything. So when you pull out a knife to use it, people stare at you. People are wondering, what's this guy fixing to do? So you need to be able to get to your knife, use it, put it up, in the least obtrusive way, And that's the main point I want to make is practice, practice with your knives. When you keep them and carry them on a daily basis, you're going to have to clean your knife, okay? Even your tactical knife. You're not going to have to sharpen it because you're never going to use it, right? Never going to cut anything with your tactical knife. But it's going to get sweat and dirt and lint on it, and you're going to have to oil it, clean it, even break it down and, get the mechanism right so that the blade deploys right, Thus, you want to move on to, practicing with these knives, Don't just buy the knife, say it's a cool knife, I like it, throw it in your pocket and think, all right, I'm good. Like anything, practice makes perfect. even my utility knife, I practice and practice learning how to carry the knife the best way, draw the knife, open the knife, the best hold method, is that a hammer grip, a reverse grip, ice pick grip, whatever you want to call them, for the task I'm going to use so that, I don't injure myself. The packages nowadays are so solid that, one slip, and you're into your other arm or into your leg. You've really got to watch yourself. So practice with your knives, Get out there, use YouTube, Check your information before you make your purchases. Find the knife that fits you. Don't just go by somebody else's opinion. Use that knowledge base that's out there, especially in YouTube, and make your decision on what best fits you. Buy it, what you can afford, practice with it, and keep it clean and working, and you'll have a weapon or a tool that will last you a lifetime. Once again, this is Survival Relic. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments, both good and bad. They all mean something to me, and I'll see you next time.